Lingard will be the 7th ever Englishman to play in South Korea. And look, I'm not going to cheat on this. We had a little quiz. There's no point lying, is it? Because I know you'll probably just grasp me up for it. But we had a little quiz if I could name any of the players that were in South Korea. The other 6 Englishmen, no, none of them. But I'll tell you who has played in South Korea. Dalian Atkinson played in South Korea. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the teams they played for. That was back in 2001. Played for a couple of teams Dalian Atkinson did in South Korea. I can actually get this one. Daejeon Citizen, I can say that one. Jamie Cruton, remember him? 2003, played for Busan Icons. Wow. I think. Andy Cook, 2003 as well. Same team. Oh, they were all in this together, weren't they? Because Chris Marsden.
Tell you what, let me know what it's like out there.
Chris Marsden played for the same team as well. All around the same time. Yeah. They've obviously had a phone. Get out of here now. Get out of here now. Playing well. Richard Offiong, 2005. Jordan Much, more recently, 2019. And Jesse Lingard now, as we have heard, has signed a 2-year deal to play for FC Seoul. Now, obviously, look, come on, this is your player, played for your former team, has come through at Carrington. Jesse Lingard, talk to me. 31, FC Seoul. How do you feel about this?
It feels like there could have been more for Jesse. I think back, it wasn't too long ago that he went to West Ham on loan and almost single-handedly, with the form that he had, put them into Europe, which subsequently, since then, they've never looked back. And he probably should have made that move permanent, but he didn't. I still, to this day, do not understand why he didn't. No, and there was some, reports came out that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer promised him game time and it didn't quite happen, and then he ended up leaving.
On that West Ham one, by the way, I just quickly got the stats up. So again, you said he pretty much saved them or helped them. 16 games, 9 goals.
Unbelievable.
Solid.
He literally went there, like I said, from then to there, he literally put them into the top 6. So that they could even have that Europa League run that they fell short on.
And again, you're only talking a couple of years ago. There was so many whispers about him getting back into England squad.
Exactly.
That was only 2 years ago.
Yeah, and that's why I feel, from that perspective of the level I've seen Jesse play at, only probably about 2 or 3 years ago, I'm like, it feels like, that there was more for the story to be written. However, though, I think we should look at it from a different way.
Go on, what's this way?
When you see Jesse Lingard on podcasts, and he spoke about what's been going on in this period of his life, where he's been at, the things he's had to overcome. He's clearly making the best steps and decisions for him. And sometimes
didn't he say he got rid of all his team around him? Yeah.
It's so it does feel, looking from the outside in, that he can still play in the Prem, he can still do this, he can still do that. But I just think he's taking the best decisions for himself, and I don't hold that against him.
You know what it is? And I don't either. And look, you know more about that story with Jesse than I do. I think the thing for me is, a Jesse Lingard fan, and obviously a fan of the Premier League, yes, I still think he can play in the Prem, although Nottingham Forest fans will probably say, no, he can't.
Yeah, it didn't work. Right? That was a bad move. It
isn't just the Prem, though, is it? We're talking about, you can go elsewhere in Europe.
Easily.
Maybe. That's what we're looking at. Like, surely there's a run for Jesse in the Bundesliga. In the French league. Serie A, we've seen our players go over there and flourish as well when you feel like maybe they're coming to the end. Think of Chris Smalling, maybe thought it's coming to the end. Over to Serie A, all of a sudden, people were talking about Chris Smalling getting back into the England squad. So I just find the FC Seoul thing, and look,
but that's why I think it's more on the personal side, because it's like
getting away completely.
The financial package, that the security it brings for him and his family.
Yeah,
maybe
he wasn't going to get a 2-year deal anywhere else, was it?
Do you know what I mean? And maybe the financially what it brings him for those 2 years, if he can stay there for the whole time, might be better than what he could have got at, I don't know, Eibar or something like that. Don't know why that was the first team come to my head.
No idea. It's random.
It's good, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good shout. Shows your European prowess.
Eibar.
Eibar. What? You would have watched him sort of week in, week out for United. How good was Jesse Lingard? Because I think of him as a player that maybe didn't get a big run off the bench and produced the goods, but was against so many other talented forwards,
good squad
wingers.
Player, good squad player, and on his day could bring a lot. Really intelligent player. What Jesse was good at is picking up spaces on the pitch and in the half spaces, getting on the turn.
Best position, coming from the left.
Coming from the left, but occupying central areas. Okay. Maybe not as a straight out 10. Do you see what I mean?
Almost a weird position that doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, look, listen, fond memories of the FA Cup final, you know, Crystal Palace. Yeah, the famous Alan Pardew doing a dance. Jesse Lingard said, not today, mate. Not today.
There's so many players that, again, I don't think it's a case of Jesse not living up to his talent, because maybe that was it.
Played for Man United.
There's
no shame in being a squad player for Man United, winning silverware. And let's not forget,
not everyone's going to go on and win Ballon d'Ors, are they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That sometimes we do that as football fans. It's like, if you don't reach Ronaldo level, if you don't reach Messi level, you're a failure. What? Like, he's had a great career.
Yeah, 32 caps for England. Played for Manchester United. Played for West Ham United. Played in the Champions League. Won trophies.
Yeah.
It's a solid career.
It is.
A solid career. And look, I'm sure we all wish him good luck, especially when you consider, as he's been openly speaking about what he's had to go through off the pitch. When you look at a lot of these young players, and Dele Alli comes to mind as well, players that you just want to see just get out there and play football.
Exactly. And I think that's where the frustration comes from.
Just get out there and play football.
Because he's taken a lot of criticism for, you know, setting up clothing lines and having off-field other ventures. But he speaks really openly about that. He says, I want to plan for after football. I want to express myself. I want to be able to do these things. And, you know, the jokes that he plays and some, you know, he's dancing. And for me, I'm a big fan of players expressing that side. I don't want to see robots personally, but I do feel though, and I'm going to admit it myself, when I did see that it was FC Seoul for the sort of waiting to see where he's going to go, shocked. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see that. Coming.
No one did. No one did. Especially as you say, when you still think there is talent there. Yeah. You do look at players that have gone abroad and have come back and they're flourishing now. We just spoke about Ross Barkley, and I did joke about the fact that Paul Merson saying this potentially could be player of the season. This is a guy that went away in Europe, didn't work out, by the way. Yeah. Got a chance with Luton, one of the only teams that wanted to look at him. Yeah. Now you're talking about Ross Barkley potentially getting a big move in the summer and getting back in the England squad.
Do you think then? I'll ask you this.
Go on.
Can Jesse Lingard have a stint out there in South Korea, and could you see him back in English football?
31 now. Just turned 31, by the way.
Yeah.
Just turned 31.
Just turned. And he looks young as well.
Helps. He's fit. You see him? He
keeps
looks
himself
fit.
in good nick, yeah.
I mean, look, if he has a good season, potentially. But for some reason, I don't know. You know what it is? I don't, and this isn't his fault, and I don't know if this is true or not. Again, we're not privy to, but you almost feel like the stories of baggage with Jesse Lingard have sort of hindered a Premier League club taking an opportunity at him, and it's because of that Forest thing.
The Forest thing didn't go well. The Forest
didn't go well at
all.
But
that was destined from the start. Massive. From the start, you looked at that and you thought Jesse's going to be on huge wages.
But I looked at Jesse, I thought, Jesse, you're one of the experienced players in there. I remember that Forest squad was full of youngsters as well. And you're like, okay, this is your opportunity to guide the youngsters. Yeah. And he just looked like he couldn't do it.
And then he got injured as well.
And then he couldn't even get in the Forest squad sometimes.
Yeah. Mate, they had about 1,000 players. Hardly anyone could get in the squad.
Jesse Lingard, brother.
I know.
Jesse Lingard, who you just said again, 16 games for West Ham, 9 goals.
It was a bad year.
It was an horrendous year. Yeah. Horrendous year. Flex, how do United finish the season?
4th. 4th. With planning permission for a new stadium as well.
Everything, don't you? Everything. Yeah, it's a Jim Ratcliffe to, pump the stadium and you finish 4th. No, realistically, where do you finish this year?
I think we can get 4th. You just asked me, I told you.
No, yeah, but I said realistically.
Do you mean that's not unrealistic?
That was your dream.
I think we'll beat Villa on Sunday, and then the top 4 charge will begin.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.